Hi, I'm Only Angel, and today I'll be VOD reviewing Dude, Renomi, sorry for butchering your names, Viktor mid lane against Orianna. So, for every single game, I always want to visualize the matchup and also create a game plan for myself. So, how does Viktor interact with Orianna? Well, both champions are control mages, so it's a control mage matchup. And basically it's all about keeping your distance and playing in a controlled way and maintaining high CS, so you're going to be big threats in team fights. Viktor outranges Orianna with his E, but all your other abilities are kind of, I think your W is a good distance as well, but I think your Q, you're going to be in danger of Orianna Ball, but it gives you that movement speed. And then your ulti, you're going to be in Orianna's range as well. So you can poke with your E, this is a poke. And then if you want to get in range with the other abilities, you do have your movement speed from your Q. But overall, you know, the most consistent way to play the laning phase is just poke her with an E. And then if she makes a misplay, you dodge her Q, then you can have a window of Qing her. But be a bit careful, you know, you got to play around her Q cooldowns. Alright, so the lane phase is going to be pretty much farming. I think you can just keep poking her, and we're going to be looking for our 1k power spike and just getting our upgraded hex core until, you know, we can maximize it, and then we can get Q and E upgrades. And then W upgrade last. That'll be basically what our champion wants to do. We want to buy an early lost chapter in between it to make sure we have an early mana cost issues, and then we should be very fine setting us towards the mid game. Alright, so before, you know, we kind of identified the mid lane matchup, we're going to now look at the jungle matchup, because mid lane is never actually a 1 versus 1, it's a potential 2v2. We can also look around the map and what happens, but jungle matchup is very important because with your mid priority, if you do have it, you can move first, and then you can be first in the river fight, or you can be first in a top lane fight or bot lane fight if it breaks out and you can get there in time. So, which is why we need to understand which is our win conditions. So first, top lane is Shen against Wukong. Well, Shen's a weak side champion. What that means is he's fine on by himself, and he's really able to help your team with his ultimate, so we don't need to pay attention to top. So then we have a Draven and Lux, and we really want to be paying attention to that, right? So unfortunately, they're probably going to be pushing their lane, but what we want to do is, if we can get vision bot side, get bot side rivered up. So if their jungler enters here, they'll know they can play safer, and then also will give you access, and they can help you and you can help them. So you want this like connection between your bot lane, since you can see they are very important win condition. Your jungler should realize this, and he should be playing bot side and mid side, and also that is basically how you're going to be winning, protecting these two lanes, as you're going to be a huge late game carry. So now we need to think about the jungle matchup as well. So Graves versus Nunu. So Nunu is a ganking jungler. He doesn't nearly farm as fast as Graves, but Graves is a farming jungler. What this means is, well, if we get vision of the camps, so we can get a raptor ward earlier on to see, you know, whether or not Nunu is ganking top, he's ganking bot, or he's just pathing up or down, gives us really valuable information for the jungler, so he knows, you know, if he can potentially invade a camp. But also lets you know, if we need to ward top side or bot side, because we know where he'll eventually be. So we've got to pay attention to that. Nunu can gank from quite a distance, so we want to get the river ward quite deep, and we want to like have a little circle around here. We don't want shallow wards against Nunu, because by the time we see him, his snowball's already in our face, and that's not good. Alright, so let's get into the laning phase and see what happens. So we start Doran's Ring, I think that's completely fine. Alright, so knowing our jungler wants to just farm and we just want to poke, I think starting E here would have been fine too. You can just poke over E at level 1. Q is quite good for trading too, if you can actually land it. Yeah, so we still do win the trade really hard with our Q. We do manage to get a very cheeky auto win, but be a bit careful because we were standing quite far up on the minion wave. You can see it does aggro you, but you do have a shield. Okay, nice. You can see when, you know, you don't want to get into ball range. Your E does outrange it, but your Q definitely doesn't. Viktor's old counter to Orianna actually. Alright, so we managed to escape from this gang, but it was honestly not like it was quite lucky, I think, because we didn't actually know he was coming. We just kind of saw him and he just walked around and just like, wait, we're going for a ward, and then we saw him. So it was pretty lucky timing. But basically, what we should be looking out for is, well, Graves is top side. He hasn't seen him, and I think like we had a ward here and he didn't access it, so we can deduce that he's probably bot side. What that means is, well, we need to put a ward, which is what you did, but we'd put it a bit later. We want to do it 15 seconds earlier, so we want to do it 2:45. So yeah, just a little bit late. Definitely could have been our flash, or yeah, probably our flash. We wouldn't die, but yeah, still. Very nice ward now. So you don't want to put it in this bush, you want to put it over here, and this is fine. Nice. I think we're playing the lane quite well. We've been missing quite a few CS, but we have been applying a lot of pressure on her though. So, if we're not able to get anything, so we've got priority, we hover and we help him. But if we're not able to get like a kill or like deny any CS at this HP lead that we've created for ourselves, then missing those minions won't be worth it. So we do deny that cannon there, so that was really nice. So that nullifies the CS lead a little bit. We are managing our mana much better. So, you know, if a 2v2 breaks out, you guys will most likely win since you have so much more mana. And hopefully, you know, you're applying this pressure, you're going to force her to base in an uncomfortable spot. So we see Viktor, we can't really help since the fight's already over. And I think we're going to be collecting a plate soon. Yeah, okay, so all that poke does pay off, and you know, this is quite an aggressive play style, and I do like it a lot because what it does, even though maybe you could have got some more CS, but most importantly, you're getting a lead and you're getting ahead of the other laner. So you got a plate, but most importantly, you got denied a wave. So you can check the XP. You're 6, you know, and a quarter, and he's 5 3/4, and it's equal minions here. So we're gonna base here, get our hex stack upgrade. I'm really comfortable spot, and we're actually winning lane quite hard. All right, so we have. We have flash. Remember, we have a pink ward. You know, the wave was coming towards us. We had the time to just go put a ward here, right? Like, we don't really want to be up here without any wards, so we just want to put a ward on right side to cover potential gangs from this side, and then we hug this side of the map where our ward is. Okay, so we do get ganked. A really nice ulti by Shen, and you guys do get a kill. So the reason why you want to hug this side, so you'll see him and then you'll have a bit more time for Shan to react. Since we stood a bit here, they got to get on you. It's just creating a bit of distance, and you know, you've been safer hugging this side because of that vision here, and it's just a much more safer approach to the lane that you could do. Alright, so we're winning lane. We want to push this out and then we're going to look for a reset. Okay, so it's a really good pink ward. I wanted it a little bit earlier, but it's fine. So we see Nunu. So we can see a fight breaking out. We get this minion who can be first to move down, right? And nothing happens, okay. So it's a nice posturing. Let's move on. We've got a Drake stacking, so we just basically play wave control mid. So the team basically tried to do Herald with you recalling. Of course, you should be pinging them back, but if they didn't, then that's their fault. But yeah, you didn't have priority, and then Oriana's there. She gets a shockwave off, and then they get the Herald, which is really bad for your team since they are winning. A lot of action is happening. We're hovering around. We've got to take care of Wukong. We've got to be mid. We see Oriana, and basically you want to be pinging. Be careful here because you need to clear mid wave while they are going to be moving first. And this is quite a peculiar situation since, well, Wukong has first move. They're kind of trapped in the pit. Wukong has ult, and even if you guys get this Drake, you guys might lose some casualties here because you're just not there to cover them. Okay, we secure it, fortunately, but we definitely want to just recall here. Okay, unfortunately we didn't put, get back off soon enough. We had flash, but I think overall we just realized, we get the Draking back off sooner, we would have been fine. We save our flash. I think probably saving flash is fine here, because yeah, you already got secured the objective. Okay, we see Nunu bot again. Bot lane is just getting camped, but you see all this vision you set up. This is to play towards your win condition, right? So even if they get ganked, you get spotted. So I mean, unfortunately they do die, but that's most you can do for them. Alright, so we do get a solo kill mid. We get mid tower with the Herald. I mean, no, with just Graves, I think he hits it really good. And let's move on to the team fight situations. So let's see. We'll move over for Drake. We have Shenot ready. They don't have teleport, so this is a 5v4 opportunity. We want to really ping the Shenot furiously. Not furiously, but hoping that he comes. He ulties you. Alright, so this is your job done already. You just get them to go away, and then you just get the dragon. We don't need to do any more. Like, any more would be, a bit too greedy. Shen does go in because he wants a kill, but we just back off now, right? We've got what we came for. Very important, the same for Orianna. Control mages are very strong if they're at the objective first and they're just basically zone controlling like these areas they can't enter, and that's kind of your job, and it nets your team the objective. And if they walk in, then it's a very free poke and then potential free team fight for you guys. So yeah, you really want to be on the objective all the time. So this time you're doing really well. You put your gravity field here, they can't walk through. Free Drake, they secure it, and then that's good. And then if they walk in, you just blow them with all your abilities, and yeah, white control mages are so strong. Only thing you gotta be careful of is, of course, hard engaged champions like this. I think you just were caught a bit off guard here. Probably looking at the shop or something. Alright, so we need to ask ourselves, do we 5v5 or do we, go split push a bit? Viktor's not a bad split pusher. You do have TP up, so it does give you an opportunity. So when these side lane farms are up, I think instead of Draven being on side lane, since he doesn't have teleport, it's better that he's mid lane. And then you can basically clear these waves really fast with 1E and then push up. You want to get these waves further than halfway points, so then you maintain high CS and XP. We're also a little bit down on gold. Their bot lane is really fed, so team fighting right now is probably not the smartest thing, unless we can get a free pick. And we're basically committing to a fight. Really hard TP to pull off. No one can follow up the Shen right now, and you're like, oh, do I help him or do I peel back? And then it's like a very messy fight. So this is obviously not a pick situation. They're all grouped, and oh, do we get this? We do sniper out, and yeah, this is just the kind of flipping a coin and see if it works. What you should have done basically is just played a bit further back. I think you potentially could have saved the grades if you put a gravity field on the Wukong. But yeah, you couldn't follow up on this play. Alright, so it's a 3v3 situation. Now you ask, do we contest this Drake? We'd look at items real quick. You're pretty strong. I mean, you have your upgrade, but you don't have your Lich Bane yet. A lot of movement speed. They don't really have that much MR, so you're still going to do a lot. We have our bot lane. They're a little bit weaker than their bot lane, but they're decent. So as long as we poke the Ezreal out, we're going to be in a okay spot. Ezreal Yuumi does scale really strong, so it really depends. If you get poked too hard, I'll back off, but I'll try to contest here because it's your 4th Drake, but if it doesn't work, just back off if you get poked too hard. So straight away Draven gets well, okay, yeah, then that's the Drake gone. Alright, so let's move along. Let's take a look at some of these team fights. We flash forward, get the Orianna. Fortunately, the Orianna is not like the biggest threat right now. We actually need to kill the Ezreal. So maybe flashing for the Orianna is not the win condition, because our flash, I mean, he's already 0-5. Our flash is so important if Wukong gets on top of us, And obviously, if we can somehow one-shot the Ezreal, it's going to be huge. We don't really have one-shot damage. We probably need Morello for all that healing that Yuumi and Ezreal has right now. And even with that, I think you're going to need one more item. So there's going to be a lot of farming that you're going to need to do. And in order to get a lot of farm and XP, we got to be using our TP, abusing it, and just go side lane. Going for like 5v5s right now is just way too good for the enemy team. The Wukong and Nunu just provide too much for them, and I think in general your bot lane's too far behind. So I definitely just look to wave clear and try to pick up side lane farm whenever possible. See, it's just way too strong. So you guys didn't realize this. They basically keep just arming it down with infinite heals from Yuumi, since we don't have enough damage to kill him yet. And then they get a kill on 2 of you, get another kill. I mean, this is not bad. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to kill them really close. But in the end, they still managed to get out because, like I said, they are pretty strong right now since Ezreal's so fed and they secure Baron. And like I said, with this comp with Ezreal Yuumi with so much poke, and they can basically easily close out the game with very easy front to back team fight. So to conclude, I mean, I think like there's not much else to watch apart from them just probably snowballing really hard with Ezreal on you. This VOD review, I think the laning phase went really well. You had good pressure and you generated good vision control and in general good control of the mid lane to allow your team to secure, you know, a lot of these drakes, and just bot side vision was really good, playing towards your mid bot win condition. Unfortunately, bot lane got a bunch of kills because Nunu got some successful ganks off and your bot lane wasn't playing respectful enough. This led to Ezreal getting really strong, and we basically had to just chill out and just do wave clear duty, and we need to just slow down the game and just understand, you know, we can always stall out the game as Viktor and just press 1E and just wave clear duty until we have 3 or 4 items. So that's going to be Morello. You really need the healing reduction, and you're going to need probably straight up Rabadons for raw damage. I think with only 2 items you're not going to have enough damage, and you need to blow him up because or else you guys won't have any chance. And then lastly, I think in team fights, you know, you got to be thinking, do we want to fight? And if the answer is no, then we play on, you know, more conservatively and make sure we're not in danger. I think you did a pretty good job of that. And then, you know, when we flash for the like, ask yourself, do we win? And then, you know, your flash usage, how do you want to use it? Because in this game we flash for the Orianna, and like I said, she's not really part of the game. She's not the reason why they're winning, and she's just not important. Saving it for potential engages and trying to outplay, I think it's a bit better. And then lastly, one of the points I think that could have got you really strong, especially in these type of elo games, is we could have played side lane. We have a Shen, so we can basically force 1v1 on the Wukong. Well, your goal basically on the side lane is just to push up to the halfway mark and maintain really high CS, like 10 CS per minute. Of course, you know, that would be really hard, but I would say 8 to 9 CS per minute. And then if they do, you know, try to 1v1 on you with the Wukong, then you can use the Shen ult and create a play like that. But if you're going straight 5v5 when they have such a fed Ezreal Yuumi, you're just not going to have a fun time. But yeah, if you follow these tips, you should be able to be much more successful in your future Viktor games. I hope you enjoyed the VOD review. Please let me know in the reviews what you thought, and if you have any questions, you have my Discord down here. Feel free to message me, and I hope you have a good day.